I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if you thought that the Splinter Cell remake was actually cancelled. It was announced in kind of a lackluster manner, showing stills of concepts along with talking about what the team was trying to achieve with the project, without having any big details there. It was like they showed a piece of early gameplay or a cutscene, giving us a piece of something to expect. That would have been a lot better. Or even showing something having Sam back in action with Michael Ironside also back, in the role for a mainline game. Again, it's been years since we got anything from Ubisoft as it relates to this game. We are all left wondering, what is it even going to be like? Will it be anything like the original? Will it follow the same plot? If changes are made to the gameplay, what will that be? Will it be in line with the original? How would Ubisoft aim to modernize it? Will there even be an attempt to add additional features that were not even seen in the first entry, like say co-op or spies versus mercenaries? We really do not know anything about it. Personally, I don't know what is worse. Would it have been worse to not announce the remake at all, especially if Ubisoft has nothing to show for it? Or just keep it all under wraps, announce it when they actually had something to show for it. Personally, I think Ubisoft should have waited, because at the current state of things, I still don't know if we're actually going to be getting this game. It might just end up being quietly and silently cancelled. So we had a recent report from Inside Gaming where Ubisoft had an earnings meeting and discussed how the delay of Assassin's Creed Shadows was beneficial to that game and its overall performance and sales. As a result, future titles are going to get the same treatment. My guess is that if the future Ubisoft games are getting delayed, to hopefully improve that quality, which can then hopefully mean that it's going to have better sales for that company. So as it pertains to Splinter Cell, I think then, as a given, this means that Splinter Cell will then be delayed even further. At this point, if the game actually gets made and comes out, I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be 2027 or even 2028 for the title. I guess there is a chance that it does come in 2026, but again, we don't know pretty much anything about the development going on right now. So where is the current project at? How far has development progressed? Was the project being toyed around and then changed around based on changing priorities from the company? Are there any cases of mismanagement with this particular game? Again, a common thing with this remake, a lot is unknown. But now we know wherever the team is in development of the remake. Well, now whatever the original date of the game was going to release on, it's going to be pushed further back, based on what Ubisoft was discussing internally. I think generally my guess is that the delay with this title potentially won't be a bad thing for the game, at least at this point, because a large amount of time between now and the announcement have gone, and nothing has really been shown. Ubisoft could have come out firing with some impressive footage to really wow Splinter Cell players, because if the game comes out and it doesn't really land what it needs to be able to do, in that it's had this large amount of time between the announcement and then actually showing the game at some point, Splinter Cell could be dead in the water upon first showing if it is not stellar. I did mention the notion of mismanagement. I will say that as an overall thing, as it relates to the Splinter Cell series, that post-Blacklist, all of it has been mismanagement. How do you create one of the best stealth action series, and then sort of just drop it like a bad habit? I could understand if the series wasn't selling well at all, or if players weren't really interested in it anymore. But that really isn't the case here. While a true stealth game is more of a niche thing now, the fanbase for Sam is very passionate, along with what I think is now is a great time to bring back more stealth action games. A mission-based game, a single-player focused stealth action game. Sounds like something I would pay top dollar for. Granted, I would prefer it to not be a remake and just a sequel and continuation after Blacklist, but something new keeping the core tenets of what makes Splinter Cell special. That right there is something we need right now. We have gamers begging for more linear games, more single-player games, less bloated open-world stuff. Again, maybe something a bit more old school. Strike while the iron is hot. While a new game takes a while to be made, this is where you start to drip feed out remasters of the prior games. Like look at the likes of Tomb Raider and the wonderful remasters that has gotten. Something like that would be a great way to get these games back out there. Add in some modern options and maybe even boosting up the graphics and all. Package that up, sell them individually, or have collection sets or one big master collection. Look, I'm not a game developer or a CEO of a big company, but that right there smells like an easy win to me. Plus, it allows Ubisoft to then test those waters, truly see if the fan base is interested, and and wants to come out and support Sam Fisher. You could even call it the Ironside Collection, or something like that, if you really want to have fun with naming it. I look at many older franchises and I go back to them here on this channel, play them, feature them, and all of that. And when I do, many of these delightful titles have aged considerably well. I want them back, even just in the very least to have that accessibility for all gamers on all platforms to then enjoy. Personally, the best way to enjoy Splinter Cell games right now is through the PC, but you need to do some modding to really get them in a better state. But this is where Ubisoft could come in and provide definitive versions of these games, package them all up, and provide the fans with what they want. It would be a nice way to build up some goodwill too. Now yes, this potential remake could be another area where Ubisoft could make good on this series again, but even with this announcement for the remake, Splinter Cell most likely feels kind of abandoned. Most of the new information we have learned about the Splinter Cell remake is coming from other parties. It's not like it's actually coming from Ubisoft, where they are discussing the game. That is where a lot of my concerns come into play. Ubisoft announced the remake and then just sort of dropped it. So at this point, it's been years. It keeps getting promised and then nothing is provided by Ubisoft to its fan base. So yeah, the news that the game is probably getting delayed even further. But honestly, until something is actually shown for this project, I still think this game, this remake, is going to be silently cancelled. But hey, maybe I end up being completely wrong on this. Maybe I end up being so wrong about the entire remake idea, and Ubisoft is able to pull off a small miracle and deliver a great remake. Who knows? With so many unknowns, anything could end up happening. But as of right now, Sam still remains in the shadows. What are your thoughts on any of this? Do you think it's a good idea for this title to get delayed even further? Do you think the Splinter Cell remake will actually come out? Let me know all of this in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.